in the raw. Arcades kind of media, your friend, your brother, me. Haji, Dr. Ocean Can in the raw. What a beautiful, resplendent and joyful Sunday morning. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. The sun, the rain has eased a bit, the water and the grass from the heaven has replenished the grass. It has empowered the earth. It is doing absolute magnificent things into the universe. Look at the coconut trees, the branches are shifting and dancing and romancing. Look at the banana suckers there. Oh my God. Let us give praise and thanks to God for what we have in this great country in perfect measure, proper, perfect weather. Let us keep God in our faith, or we could turn, ladies and gentlemen, as we've seen in other countries. Now, I feel very wonderful. I have here with me the powerhouse of a Minister of Finance, Ashni Singh. We have Mr. Armagan, David Armagan, Region 6 Chairman, and we have Kesh Nandalal. And what are we talking about? New Forest Village to light up with electricity for first time ever this Christmas, Finance Minister. Now, I want to applaud our Finance Minister and extend the Cabinet, and further our Vice President, Dr. Jagdeo, and of course, Mark Phillips, our Prime Minister, and Excellency President Dr. Irfaan Ali. Even though the Minister is at the forefront of this, with the Region 6 Chairman, and Cabinet would have given approval, His Excellency the President, Dr. Irfaan Ali, had to be the man, the master behind it. With Mark Phillips, Prime Minister, with Jagdeo, VP, all working to bring better to this country. Imagine, from 2015 to 2020, the APNU and the AFC could have not have done anything to help these people. From Gangaram, going down to about 8 miles, I think it is, to where the place end, New Forest Village, etc. further, and it was not possible. But now, with the intervention of the dynamo of Mr. Ashni Singh, our Finance Minister, spearheading this, going out to meet the people, to listen to the concern, and to make this possible. I feel so very, very fortunate to be a part of this country at this time, to see all this that taking place. Imagine this entire country would have been electrified. I'm not going to be like a certain Justice for All guy who would say the whole country would have been electrocuted. It would have been electrified. I heard that gentleman is not well. Let us pray for God to help him and help his family, for them to overcome his illness and so on, and to get and to feel better. Now, I'm talking about Mr. C. and Sharma. Just make a little bit of point there, but nothing negative anymore. But it is to electrify the nation. It always hurts me, this man, Ramjattan, former leader of the AFC. How can I, as a Guyanese citizen, respect that man? How could a man like Mr. Nigel Hughes, who's the new leader, sit with a man like that on that table, unless the aim is to use him to get a certain percentage of votes that he probably think, or they think he could bring from Corentyne? Who will want to vote for them? When he was a Bobishan, and he never think of fixing this matter. I remember Ramjattan, before the bridge was built, which the APNU and the AFC were objecting to, the Borbis Bridge. Well, in the raw, I'm supposed to get disturbed at a certain time, so I got disturbed. I was making a point about that bridge. And then we talk about the University of Guyana. When they were building the Borbis University of Guyana, PNC was very upset about it. My understanding, I heard, I don't know the truth about this part, that the AFC was just like emerging and thing, and they also was against the University of Guyana in Borbis. That's because the PNC and them were like two sides of the same coin. And they didn't want the Borbis. Anything that has to do to develop Borbis. I recall now, before that bridge was built, we were still crossing, and Ramjattan and a few of them, as they were forming this party, were complaining about the beggars coming around and asking for a little help. And he seemed to forget this is an international dilemma. I went in China, even found it, while they're strict about it. I found it even in Japan. These vagrants and so on, they deal very strictly with it. And they were saying here, Ramjattan, that if the government was running the country properly, this would need to happen. Then they were talking about the people in the streets and so on. And I challenged him. And I told him that you will never be able to end this if and when you take power. And you know me, when they took power, I went on the internet, on the letter writing. At that time, there was no Inder. This was created by this skullduggery of the 2020 elections, to steal elections by the APNU and the AFC, which is the PNCR, and a few acolytes, satellites, neither here nor there. People, you know, they're a bit on this politics thing and the kind of words coming out. You will say paper tiger, and that's giving the people too much of credit. Or paper party. So I would say toilet paper party. Toilet paper parties. There, neither here nor there. Now, I went in and I said, I challenge you, and where is the end of street people? Vagrants and dwellers in the street. Where is it, Ramjattan? Where is the end of people begging in the streets? And of course he can't answer. That's why wherever we go anywhere and we see each other, whether at a funeral or a social gathering taking place, you can turn and you can watch me. Then you can see I going back again and you can watch me. And so on. Because I'm the only man who has the gall and the guts to expose him. And now because of him, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about electricity now. You're supposed to get 50% reduction in your electricity costs since before the APNU took power. And if when the APNU took power and they went ahead, the calculation by the powerhouse of Dr. Bharat Jagdeo, the then Prime Minister, and then followed by Donald Ramutar, Bharat Jagdeo, the President, I beg your pardon, Donald Ramutar, into the maybe second year or so of the APNU, AFC, you would have had 50% of electricity costs. The government of Guyana is now working to bring 50% of electricity costs by subsidizing use, whereas technically we are having cash. Those who are looking out for cash, you're having cash. Just like with University of Guyana, you're having cash. Not paper money in the hand, but you're going to get in value. All the money you will save in electricity is more money for your pocket. But we would have had that already. But now, with gas to energy, or gas to shore, we will get it sooner or later, even before the full activation. The government of Guyana, President Dr. Irfaan Ali government, is putting this in a situation that we're going to pay about 50% of our electricity costs. Compliments. And our finance master, the finance genius, which is Bharat Jagdeo, President Irfaan Ali, but the minister responsible for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, a genius in financial matters in the world. Beloved divine friends and families. So Ashni Singh. So let me go back to this. Now let me read. That was my take. It was quite a lengthy take. A bit into reality to open up those minds who are confused. And you, the people of Berbice, you can never forget Ramjattan AFC. Never forget Ramjattan AFC. I repeat, never forget Ramjattan AFC, what they did to y'all. And they stay quiet till the last minute when sugar was derailed in Berbice. And thousands displaced. Children stopped going to school. Children had to be put to work to help the family. Some committed suicide. There was malnutrition, except for while they were in opposition. The PPPC arranged, and I recall Honorable Minister Wanajil going through the country, helping, contributing to the people. Food and so on, because of the situation that was brought upon the Bobitians, the Corentynians. And I'm very partial for Corentyne because that is where I come from. If I am invited by a political party that I find more alluring now and attractive, I'm not a member of a party, and they want me to go campaign on this in the Corentyne or anywhere else, I might take the challenge. If invited, I don't push my luck. Now, let me read. The community of New Forest, East Kanji, Region 6, East Berbice, Corentyne, is expected to receive electricity for the first time before Christmas. What was PNC APNU doing in 2015 to 2020? And the 28 years they were in power. What were they doing? Yes, the PPP came and spent some years, but now they're doing it. They were making sure it is possible to give joy and love and heart to the people. Now, the last village in East Kanji, which is connected to the national grid, is Gangaram. I know Gangaram. My father lived a while in there, and my aunt, and their children. The three populated villages that come after and stretch 8 miles, I was right, from Gangaram is New Forest, Speculation, I like that name, Zorg, and Good Land, like New Forest, have never been connected to the national grid. Thank you for this announcement, Ashni Singh, Prime Minister. Well, maybe one day he could become Prime Minister too. These are presidential, prime ministerial personalities. Anil Nandalal, Vindhya Prasad, Miss Parag, presidential females. And I go on. Addressing residents on Saturday, Singh said it is the government's principal objective to ensure that the lives of every Guyanese are improved irrespective of where they live. And even before they came out of power in 2015 through skullduggery, they had started giving solar system to isolated villages, small pockets in all the interior hinterland regions. And they are still on that. What a government. What an amazing thing to comprehend and to behold from the Irfaan Ali government. And even the Barajagdev government, the Ramtar government before. You wonder what the APNU, AFC, PNCR were doing other than trying to create techniques and systems to steal the upcoming election, and all their energy was so concentrated. I'm surprised we're talking about Amelia Hydroelectric and other things, and the rigging that took place. They tried to steal the election, and a man that I have great respect for. We're not friends, but I think we have a mutual respect for each other, Nigel Hughes. Imagine what he will do if he comes up and say that the PNCR was wrong in this, and the whole AFC of Ramjattan and Trotman was wrong in this, and he is correcting it. Imagine what that will do. And that is why I think he needs to run independent, and he will eat the PNCR and break them And who knows, another few election cycles, they could take power. It is possible. Nothing is impossible. But the link with the PNCR would be a great travesty, Sister Hughes, Mr. Nigel Hughes. I like the guys, right? I like both of them. Very much, actually. Even though we are not social friends. It was in May that the minister visited the community where he was told that there was no electricity connected to the area. During that meeting, he made the promise that before the year ends, residents of New Forest will have access to electricity. Wow! And possibly before then, we'll get the announcement that electricity will be 50%. Wow! What a great thing. On Saturday, he noted that there were 3 areas in Region 6 where residents have never connected to the grid. These areas are the Upper East Kanchi area, the East Bank of Bobis, and sections of Crabwood Creek. Obviously, they're going to work on that. The 4 communities in Crabwood Creek have since been connected to the grid, while the poles have been accumulated for the EBB, and planting is expected to commence on Wednesday. So Crabwood Creek got it! Don't forget, I used to live in Corriverton, Skeldon, 3 miles from Crabwood Creek. So our Crabwood Creek man. All right? And they did it. And we don't even know. What a government. They need to show off. Mr. Ashni Singh, Kish, PPPC government, you need to show off, Irfaan Ali government. Show off. So what you're doing. I want to tell you all something. There are a few things Forbes Burnham did that I will give him some credit for, which was the agriculture kind of thing. But when they were now setting to give Corentyne and Upper Corentyne area electricity, they were coming down where they put the generators them at, I forgot the area, but it's an Afro-Guyanese dominated village. There's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. And they brought the lines down on the highway right up to about 62, near 63. But so as to inconvenience the people in 63, 64, 65, because they were a powerful Cherry Jagan, PPP group there. Youth, I know them. I was like, okay, liming with them. But I was never like moving with them, you know, deep politically. But them boys were like radicals and revolutionaries and so on. They used to walk like, some of them went to Cuba and they would dress like Fidel, which Forbes Burnham embraced at one time, Fidel. And they would dress and walk like Fidel, even though like dark-skinned Fidel. But what they did, because of that, they cut and they went to near the beach area and run the post at the back there so that entire area would not get electricity. Talk about electoral skullduggery and deceit. He could have won the heart of the people to go and tell them, listen, even though you are not supporting us, he could have done it himself. I'm running the electricity to give all of you power. Modern civilization, people need electricity. But he ensured for many, many, many decades, those people suffered. Maybe until Hoyt came in. And Hoyt was my champion. I'm a lover, an admirer of Hugh Desmond Hoyt. A friend of Hugh Desmond Hoyt. I never close political, but I admired the man. He might have fixed it. So I'm trying to show you what political skullduggery, and we saw in the Buxton area. Mostly, it's a kind of a few mixed, but mostly Afro-Guyanese, giant historically of Afro-Guyanese, and great Indo-Guyanese born there too. But they ensure they get electricity, agricultural roads, housing facility, a building material facility, an agricultural facility, and guidance and advice. The president will go there, sit and talk with his cabinet, mix with the people, listen to them, give them what they want. Let's go again. So now they're working on the East Bank Barbies, which I just mentioned, where there are even more remote communities, like in the hinterland, where the villages are far away from the grid, and it is not feasible to connect them to the grid because of the distance. In some cases, we have been putting mini grids, like in Maka Maka. Oh yes. Where have built a mini hydro. In some cases, even a mini grid because of the dispersion of the population. People spread out. They live far apart, and we can't have a mini grid. We took a decision that we will deliver household-level solutions. And that has to be the solar. Since President Ali assured office, we have already 30,000 household-level units. This is solar panels, like I was saying, battery storage, a few lamps, and a fan. We have delivered these to hinterland villages and Amerindian villages throughout the length and breadth of the country, Singh pointed out. I was saying I'm actually preempting. Meanwhile, in East Kanchi, in excess of 50 families are expected to benefit from the intervention. Singh noted that the poles have already been planted and the wires connected. You have the responsibility to wire your own home, GPL Guyana Power and Light will work closely with the residents to make sure that the connections to the homes are made. And the certification and inspections are done so that you can get electricity before Christmas. What a government, you know. As I'm talking to you, I'm looking here and I'm seeing the face of Excellency Dr. Irfaan Ali. I'm just seeing his face. VP Jack Dale, Mark Phillips, and of course, Ashni Singh. I'm seeing them here. The great, magnificent leaders of this country. And even Anil Nandalal. Chief Executive Officer for the GPL, Nandalal, explained that, noted that 9 kilometers of medium and low voltage lines were installed so that you can get power to your home. You will have reliable electricity, the CEO said. Meanwhile, Singh noted that while, that is, the Finance Minister, the Honorable Finance Minister, Ashni Singh, that while it is about the delivery of electricity to New Forest and nearby villages, there is a bigger picture within which should be viewed. There is another picture behind that. So I want to find out what is that picture. My head is preempting, right? It is commitment that you would have heard our president made repeatedly, that our government principal objective is to ensure that the lives of every single Guyanese, irrespective of where they live, that their lives are improved. That is a pledge from the President of the Republic of Guyana, voted for by God, made President by God, despite all the satanic skullduggery of the PNCR, the AFC, the APNU. God voted for President Dr. Irfaan Ali and the people of this country. In some communities, it means the upgrading of community roads, because historically in some communities the roads have been non-existent. What a government, man. What a president. You have seen the thousands of community roads that we have built in some communities. It means building or expanding a school or a health center, Singh added. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. So Singh is reiterating or repeating the vision, the grand vision of Excellency Dr. Barry Jagdeo, former president and current president voted by God, selected by God, anointed by God to lead this great nation. Their vision for this nation. He noted that the electricity demand has been increasing as he referred to the new forest project as being a small addition to the grid. There are new housing areas with hundreds of households that are being brought into the grid. The lands made possible at basic part cost to develop, but made possible by the greatness and the vision of the Irfaan Ali government and Barajagdev government to the nation to ensure independence of homes. We have new industrial and commercial investments, including things like hotels, factories, warehouses, processing plants, etc. We got to think of all of this. Power. Power. Mr. Nigel Hughes. Power. That is where the Amelia Falls would have helped everything. I would feel so proud to hear you come out and say that the AFC Ramjattan was wrong to vote with the then independent but romantic partners in Parliament to cause the Amelia Falls to shut down Ramjattan. This has resulted in the skyrocketing electricity demand. All these places. The demand for electricity from GPL has moved from almost 100 megawatts to almost 200 megawatts currently. And as I am closing, ladies and gentlemen, this has resulted in the need for more electricity, which we have been bringing as rapidly as we can, but blame the AFC, Ramjattan, Trotman, AFC, and the PNCR for voting against it. Anything that develops the country or helps the country, that the Barajagdev government, the Janet Jagan government, the current government, to try to do to help the people, they always destroy it. I wish Nigel Hughes could say that you were wrong, AFC, and win the hearts of many, many, many people. Earlier this year, GPL hired a power ship that is currently delivering 36 megawatts of power, and a second power ship is expected to arrive before the end of the year. The ship is expected to have the capacity of delivering 16 megawatts of power, so that will give us about another, so you're having 30 plus you have 60, 90 megawatts, while Gas to Shore is quickly working on. Ladies and gentlemen, together we must pray for peace and goodwill in our country amongst all peoples. We must pray for God to help the opposition so they can see with wisdom and support good things for the nation, and to, instead of causing trauma and turmoil by saying wrong and negative things, let's pray to God to enter their minds so they can speak the truth and truly support the development of the people, human development of the people and the nation Guyana. Ladies and gentlemen, with respect and peace, your friend, your brother, me, Haji, Dr. Roshan Khan, in the Raw. Say thank you. Farewell.